Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. AJ here, and in today's video we're going to be having a look at Microsoft Teams. I'm sure you've heard about Microsoft Teams and how organizations big and small are moving to it faster than you can say the word Teams, as we're all learning to navigate this new way of working. So in today's video I want to do two things. Firstly, define what is Microsoft Teams and give you an overview of the most commonly used features to help you get started. When I describe Microsoft Teams, I actually like to take a step back and have a look at Teams as not as this new program from Microsoft, but more a combination of all different programs rolled into one. You take a pinch of Word, a dash of SharePoint, a whole bunch of instant messaging and hundreds of different applications, you roll them all together and then you essentially get Teams. It's essentially taking all these different programs, workflows and apps that you're already used to using and giving you a simple single pane of glass for all your communication, collaboration and productivity tools. When I think of Teams, I think together everyone achieves more. Teams. If there's anything specific you want to see or know, let me know in the comment section below. And if you find this video useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. But if you really want to supercharge the way you use Microsoft Teams, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well to make sure you don't miss any of my updates. And with that being said, let's get into it. So for today's video, we're going to focus on the left-hand panel where it says activities at the top, because once you understand these icons, you basically have a great foundation of navigating and using Teams. To kick off, let's jump into our Teams team so we can see all the teams that you're a part of. Maybe I should do a count of how many times I say the word Teams in this video. Maybe. Anyway, back to it. You can see here that we're a part of a few different teams. We've got our Mark 8 projects, Contoso, Digital Innovations, Retail, SOC, US Sales, and Sales and Marketing. A rule of thumb that I'll give you is that you don't want to be in too many teams. Make sure you stay to around 5 or so teams, because a team is essentially a tight-knit group of people that are working together on a particular project or an outcome. If you're in too many teams, it's just going to create noise and confusion, so try and limit the amount of teams that you're in. This person here is in 7 teams. I wouldn't be in any more than that, and I'd recommend maybe even finding 1 or 2 that they can actually remove or mute. Let's focus on the Mark 8 project team for today. You see here we've got the little drop-down menu where we can hide it or drop it down. Underneath that, where it says General Design, Digital Assets, Market Plans, Research and Development, the team is called Mark 8 Project Team, and everything beneath that is called a channel. You don't want to put everything into your general basket, but you essentially want to have different channels for the different outcomes. So you have the team, which is Mark 8 Project Team, that are working on that project, but then you break it down into different channels and objectives. You've got the group of people that are working on the design. You have the people that are working on the digital assets. You have the group of people that are working on the research and development. So it all rolls up into the one big team of Marketing 8 Project, but it's broken down into these easy to navigate channels. You can see next to a few of these, there is a 1 or 2 highlighted in red, and that means that there's been activity in that team that you haven't seen yet. So let's jump over to Research and Development and see what's happening. In this channel here, you see you've got a thread and people are posting different things. They're posting in script, there's comments, there's replies, there's photos, there's images, there's PowerPoint, and there's different documents in here. So this is essentially a giant chat for your entire team. If you wanted to post, down the bottom you have your little symbol here where it says start a new conversation, and of course you can do @mentions. If I wanted to, for example, reply to Adele in this message here, I'm going to hit the reply option, and then I can actually go, I'm using my digital keyboard here, I'm going to do an @mention, Adele. So you can see when you press the @mention, it's going to show you everybody that's in that team, and as you start typing someone's name, it's going to focus on that person. So @Christy Klein, here is the overview. This way, Christy is going to get a notification about this message, and it's going to take her directly to that Word and that Excel document. We're going to hit send, and now you see that our response is down here. Christy Klein, here is the overview. At the top of any channel, you have posts, files, and wikis by default. And then of course you can add different markers and different programs at the top here. So in the file section here, you can see that we have a whole bunch of different files, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, different folders. This is everything the team is working on in one spot. It's your single point of truth. What this means is that anyone within this team can access, edit, and work on these documents, and the beauty of it is they're all working on the same version. So there's no more double, triple, quadruple handling of people saving it on their desktops and emailing and compiling it all together. And oh, I've got a copy. In Teams, it's all the same copy. It'll streamline the way people work, and it just creates a much smoother, continuous workflow. If you're worried, oh, what if someone accidentally deletes it or makes a change that we didn't want? It's okay, because Teams stores up to 500 previous versions of that document. So if there's an unwanted change or it's accidentally being deleted, you can always go and restore that document or restore a previous version of that document. Now let's jump up to the chat section, and this is essentially where you're going to do all your instant messaging and video calls, one-to-one or one-to-many. So you can see here we've got a conversation happening with Alex and a conversation with Isaiah. If I hover over Alex's name, you see that there's a little square with an arrow that appears, which says pop out chat. And if I select pop out chat, you can see that that conversation is now popped out in a second window, so I can speak to Alex over here while navigating something else in my Teams. I could jump over to my calendar, for example. Let's bring him back and make him full screen. So you can pop out chat so you can focus on those conversations. In the top right hand corner, we have the option to video call him, audio call, or share something. Essentially start a screen sharing calling conversation. Now let's jump over to our calendar. The calendar is synced to your work account, so anything that you have in your Outlook calendar will reflect in here. If you create meetings and invitations in Teams, that will reflect in your Outlook. It's essentially the same calendar, just reflected in Outlook or in Teams. I still prefer creating my meetings and schedules in Outlook. I just find that there's more functions and options in there. But if you create a meeting in Teams, it will reflect in Outlook and vice versa. So if we needed to join a team meeting, say for example this weekly team sync at Thursday at 5 a.m. That is early for a meeting, but still, let's open that up. It's going to show us who's been invited. On the right hand side, it will show you whether they've accepted, declined, or they're tentative. And on the top right, you have the option to join the meeting. So I'm going to hit the join meeting option. It's going to pop out. This is a new feature of Microsoft Teams, is that the meetings and the chats now pop out. And you can see here that we have the option to turn on our camera. So you're going to see me. And before we join the meeting, you can actually select the option down here of the little person with the background behind them. That's the blur or change of background. So I'm going to select the option here, and let's scroll down, find a cool one. Maybe you want to be in space, in the galaxy. So before we jump into that meeting, you can change the background behind you. If you need to change the settings, maybe you want to connect to your headset or a different speaker, you can do that in your PC mic settings. Then we hit join meeting. You can see the meeting started, and as people will appear, they'll start populating on the screen here. Cool. I'm going to hang up. Back to the left-hand side pane. At the top of your panel on the left-hand side, it says activity. This is essentially reminders and notifications for anything that's happened on your team site while you've been away. You can see here Isaiah has mentioned you, Adele replied to a meeting, Pradeep gave you a reaction reply. So this is a quick catch-up of what you've missed while you've been away. If you drop down the little feed section, you can also see My Activity, which is showing you everything that you've done, whether you've replied, created, posted, basically showing all of your activity within Teams. Down the bottom is your call option, which is a history of all your calls. Depending on the licensing that you have, you might even have a phone number associated with Teams, so people can call you through the web or they could dial you through the phone. You have your files, which shows you the recent files that you've been working on, the ones that are stored in your Microsoft Teams, the files that you've downloaded, and of course, the ones that are connected to your OneDrive. The three dots, the ellipses, in any Microsoft program, if you ever see three dots, it always means more. If we select the ellipses, it's going to show you some recent applications that you can add to the side. So if you wanted to add Planner, for example, I'd select that, and it is now part of the taskbar here. I can right click on it, and I can pin it so it always stays here. If you wanted to rearrange any of these icons, you can simply move them up or down the left-hand side pane and customize it to the way that works best for you. Aside from these recent apps, we can go down the bottom and go to more applications. And this is all different apps that have been certified to work with Teams. They're both Microsoft and other third-party applications. There's hundreds of different applications in here, and there's more and more being added every day. All right, and there we go. That is my introduction to Microsoft Teams. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And if there's anything else you want me to cover or answer, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Enjoy using Microsoft Teams, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.